Good evening, Go Mode Podcast, and welcome to Game 3 of a Gold Sword semifinal between Pastrami and Tjjoll. We're in Game 3 tonight. My name is Radical Sniper 99, and tonight I am joined by Shav. How's it going?
Hey guys! I'm so excited to watch this on my first one. These guys are so good.
Yeah, Gold Sword bracket means that these were part of the top 16 of all of our Swiss. To get to this point, all of our runners ran a 6-week Swiss. So you were facing runners of the same record each week. At the end of that, the runners were then sorted from first down to our 64th place, and those 64 runners were then placed into brackets. Top 16 runners into our Gold Sword, next 16 into the Tempered, following 16 into Master, and the bottom 16 into our Fighter Sword division. And they all went into best of 3 brackets. So we are down to just a few runners left now here in the Gold Sword bracket. Winner of tonight's race between these two will go on to our final.
They get to face Mr. Aaron Snur.
Yeah, so definitely going to be quite the competition coming up for this final spot. I've seen Pastrami quite a few races during this tourney, and Tjjoll, I am a little bit more familiar with, not in regards to this tourney, but actually saw TJ run some during last league. So has definitely come a long way from where he was during league last season.
We've got a separate start.
We do see we have a 5-6 crystal there from Pastrami checking out the map at Eastern Palace, while Desert and Hera are regular crystals. So I actually prefer Pastrami's route, usually in open mode. I do like an Uncle start, get a quick tier 1 here. So we'll see if we get anything off of this. Just some blue rupees.
At the beginning.
Yeah, blue rupees aren't too bad. We are going to get a different approach from TJ here. Also going to get that tier 1 tree pull, but we're also going to get very quick bush crab, followed by, I'm guessing we're going to see the lumberjack ledge. And bush crabs are full magic, so nice little bonus. We'll see if that makes a big difference. As, hey, there's our blue cane. So unfortunately, Pastrami not having those full magics, and only 3 bombs, deciding let's not go after escape. Although I think there was a bee in that bottle, and probably could have gotten through most of those rooms of escape with that equipment.
He's checking the mushrooms up. Oh, we've got the moon pearl.
Yeah, nice early pearl is always a good find. See what else we get out of here at the Lost Woods.
Just a piece of heart.
Although those 3 bombs already for Pastrami are going to be a nice little routing advantage here heading into Kakariko for sure.
Yeah, he'll just get a straight up do the well and blunt.
Yeah, 3 bombs is really all you need to get through all of Kakariko. Definitely will hope to get something soon. Now, for TJ, what we're going to see here, it looks like heading into Blind's Hut first. I will say, just as a learner's kind of thing, as a slightly more experienced runner, if you don't have bombs coming into Kakariko, my personal choice is head to back of the tavern first and then drop into Cackwell. Cackwell is usually a little quicker to do the checks and hopefully get bombs rather than doing Blind's Hut. And unfortunately, Blind not having anything today.
It's always a bummer to kind of like have to leave one thing behind.
Yeah. And this is why, I would just suggest that usually is, blinds or the back of the tavern here. It's a free one. Maybe you get bombs. This can easily be a bail. And then the well is a quicker drop down in comparison to having to walk in and out of Blind's hut.
Yeah.
But TJ did get some money out of Blind's and is able to buy those bombs and will get enough money to purchase a bottle vendor after this as well.
Get a first look at the well. Ooh, the fire rod.
Nice little bonus of an offensive power to start here. TJ will be able to take a little bit more advantage of that, just having the full magic already from the bush crabs. That's a nice piece of knowledge that TJ has for now. And there's that 10 bomb pack
The
out of the
bombs.
cack ball.
Yeah.
Not exactly the best feeling coming up for TJ.
Yep.
So Pastrami getting those 3 bombs out of Kakariko early, combined with also skipping the Lumberjack ledge check, saving a little bit of time here. Not any considerable difference, but, it just makes for a little smoother routing we're seeing for Pastrami right now. Plus, Pastrami is getting to check Sick Kid. That bottle cannot be understated at this point, and that's why a lot of runners will tell you Uncle Start in an open seat is just this strong of a play, because if you get one item, if you get a flute, if you get a bottle, that's instantly an extra check out of Kakariko.
Yeah. All right, let's see if Pasutorami checks the library. Just bombs. Probably not coming back for those.
Yeah, low chances there. The question is Pastrami okay? So Pastrami is going to scout the race game. I think in a lot of open modes or standard non-keys modes, this is a good smart play. Deciding to skip it, or at least just scout it first. I think in keys, you scout, you just go for it. I'm being informed by chat, specifically this guy named GFE, that apparently Uncle Start is wrong, but I don't know how that could be.
I feel like 9 times out of 10, I see an Uncle Start. Oh, he's got the bottle.
So yeah, there's that bottle with that bee. Definitely going to be a valuable tool.
Oh.
Although I say that, and Pastrami giving us a sword.
Yeah.
So any concerns gone immediately about Mini Moldorm Cave.
Oh, that cave is so hard without a sword. At least for me it is. Just a heart in the bottom of the swamp.
Yeah, and our runners know at this point, we're going to find plenty of hearts. And given the gold sword bracket, I think there's definitely that feeling of I might have to cut a few corners, or not even cut many corners. It's just, I know my opponents worked really hard to get to this point as well.
I love that he just used the bee.
Yeah, and that's a smart play there. That's really, that's the knowledge that you kind of come to expect at this point. This is something you wouldn't just see in, this is something a lot of runners outside of this level in some of our major tournaments would also try to incorporate. Fortunately, TJ having a little bit more trouble there, trying to use the bomb strats, and the Mini Moldorm's really just being able to dodge everything. But nothing really out of Mini Moldorm. I mean, unless you like a baby shield.
me to see what's in Ice Rod Cave on Pasutorami's side. Oh, just some money and a save and quit.
Yeah, we're not going to get some fake flipper action out of Pastrami so far. Now, TJ heading to Ice Rock Cave is going to have to be a little bit careful here, down to 2 hearts.
These crabs hit so hard.
Yeah. Unfortunately, definitely one of the hardest enemies this early.
Alright, looks like we're gonna go to Sahasrala's on Pasutorami's side. See what's in his closet.
Meanwhile, TJ is walking out of the Ice Rod Cave. I'm very curious if this is going to be for a fake flipper this early. As we get the cape out of Sahasral's closet, and
Oh,
Shav, do you know what we might be facing here?
I got the seed. Chat's gonna
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, we're 1 item away from AGA access.
Oh man, we do see a fake flip TJ's side. He's going up to the hobo.
Actually gonna turn
Oh,
around.
yeah.
There's okay,
Oh,
so Lake
yeah.
Hiley Island check. I thought maybe we would have gotten the a quick check of the waterfall first, but instead is going to head to Hobo. And of course, as Mocha is pointing out in chat, we are short a lamp, and of course that is very important. I do not doubt that, but I'm very, very confident we'll have a lamp very soon.
Most likely, and these runners are so good at the dark room, especially in Eastern now.
Well, and Eastern is one story I will say. Even experienced runners will not rush Dark Aga.
Definitely not. That one is so
I will say it's not the worst given that we have Fire Rod, but still not a rush to go for it.
totally. Oh, he is checking the waterfall fairy. TJ.
Yeah,
Some
so
nice
even
divergence right here in the beginning.
for TJ does have to go in and then out and then back in to get these. But oh, Bombos medallion. It's a nice little find. And is going to give us a check of what the Zora water or the Zora fairy is giving us. Blue potions.
Oh, nice. Those skeletons are in that nice bed. Oh, he came back for the full magic refill.
Really heads up play there. Can't blame Pastrami for that play at all. Well worth the time.
Alright, it's looking like there is an item at the bar, I think, in Eastern.
Yeah, and I like this play on the other side from TJ. Having not done the Uncle Start and having that sword now is going to go for Escape. Technically, depending on where the small key is for Escape, all of it could be in Logic right now. That Fire Rod, given that we play this game in what is called Advanced Logic, means that the Dark Cross and the path all the way to the back is in Logic, given that Fire Rod.
Alright, Psutorami made it through the dark.
Yeah, and with 5 hearts, gonna take the easy damage boost strat there and just gets 3 bombs. So Eastern Palace not the answer.
Let's see. Oh, he almost went for the hearts in the path. Well, it looks like he might be also going out to do escape.
And there is the small key in the first chest of the escape. So that does mean that all of escape, including to Zelda's cell and all the way back to those 3 chests behind the bomb wall, are currently in logic. We're going to find out what happens for both these runners. How comfortable are they with Dark Cross and the dark back of escape? And yes, we did have a map check early. It was red crystal eastern, blue crystals for desert and Hera. TJ getting a little bit of damage boost there to set up for the death warp.
Ooh, and it's the glove.
Still is taking the death warp here. I'd prefer to do a save and quit and just go from the back, but I can completely understand this play from TJ instead.
Oh man, Pasutorami's getting bullied by the green.
Yeah, Pastrami's trying to set up for the same death warp as TJ did, is just getting lesser green guard logic or green guard help there.
Ah, he used the fire rod.
Yeah, and that's those torches that do put this all in logic. This is one of those harder pieces of escape for a lot of newer runners to get used to. So unfortunately, we're not seeing a lot just because of the darkness, but as we now see, TJ got through that escape room, got the key rat, is now checking the back of escape. And back of escape not giving us much of anything. So the glove was our big prize.
Let's see where he's gonna go next.
And it looks like we're just going to trade positions at this point.
Yep. Pasutorami about to find out love was the best thing.
So yes, in terms of what we have as logical items, we are down to just Agina or Zora. And I think Pastrami's going to set up for a Houlihan at this point. So opens up that hole over the back of escape and is just going to set up to be pushed by that bomb explosion into the hole. And there we go. We are into the Houlihan room. 225 of those rupees. Nice little start towards Zora money.
Oh, so close.
Well, and really, there's a nice play here in this, is that Pastrami is heading towards Agina right now, and there is a liftable rock just outside of the desert area that has 50 rupees in it every time. So Pastrami can take that rock, pick up those 50 rupees, and then head into a Zora check as well.
Ah, there you go. I think that's his first look at bush crab.
And there we go. Pastrami picking up these liftable rock rupees. So that is 50 rupees every time. We'll see if he grinds it out maybe an extra time. Because as we've been talking, this is kind of looking close to an Agaseed. You know, if we get Hammer or Mitts, we're in a Dark World. If we get the Lamp, we're on to Aga.
So funny to have the game 3 be an Agaseed.
Well, and I kind of, the one thing I would say is for Pastrami, I would have preferred to see a play to check Desert Ledge real quick before heading straight into Agina, just for that knowledge. And logically, Zora is the answer.
Going down to his fake flipper spot.
Now, while the lamp does technically give us Aga access, it does also give us 2 additional checks. It will give us access to Death Mountain. We can rescue the old man and check what is on Spectacle Rock, or inside of Spectacle Rock, really.
Alright, Pasutorami just checked the island. Probably not back for that red 20. Up to the hobo. So funny, I feel like most of the time Zora's a scamfish. We'll have to see what he has for us today.
Yeah, we know it has to be something of importance at this point. So TJ is rushing straight to Agina in this case. Unfortunately, going to be well short of Zora money, and we'll have to see how he decides to play this. Because he's down to very little and is not at the realization yet that it is going to be Zora. And thus is skipping that liftable desert rock.
He's also going straight to Agina instead of checking the desert ledge.
Yeah, so at this point, Pastrami is going to have a bit of an advantage just from timing. While our runners do have the same items, Pastrami just has that extra, has the money already to go get Zora. I think if TJ wants to make a play here, to kind of take a gamble, would be to possibly rush the mountain and go through a dark old man cave. And that might be what we're
Called it.
seeing.
Totally called it.
So interesting question in chat here. Copybook Pizza asking, if you don't have gloves and can't do hula hand, how would you grind rupees? So this is a really tough one. We actually, I think the Goma podcast actually had a recent seed for its. Oh, there's our hammer off of Zora. So that is Dark World access. It is not an Aga seed.
Successfully avoided Aga.
So back to the question, how would you grind rupees? Yes, you can hula hand without the gloves. But we actually had this in a GMP seed a few weeks ago. It was an open seed. And flippers were early.
Mm.
And so our runners, the solution was on Zora, and the big question was, how do you get rupees? And we've seen many options for this. I want to say one of the seeds, there were bottles available pretty early, and the Zora Fairy was actually giving out golden bees. So you can try to sell gold bees, hope for some tree pulls. Worst case, and this is absolutely the worst case, is you're grinding either the Cackwell or Blind's Hut.
Oh man, just a load of balls in Hype Cave.
Yes, as it's become known by many today, it is sometimes the Tripe Cave, and that is just the case as we do get that map check. Red Crystal, Thieves Town, Pendant Mire, I saw. Then we also got it to check Green Pendant Swamp and Pendant Ice. So there is our layout. Pendants along the south.
I mean, at least if you have to do a pendant, at least it's swamp. There's the most items in there.
Well, the interesting thing here, and almost I have to kind of bring this up as a cool little thought, and oh, I'll get to that in just a second, but this could be a flipperless seed.
Oh,
Ice and
definitely.
swamp, both being pendants. We might not need those. Now, this is something a little bit less common, but pastrami, they're skipping dig game. But we did have a money option there. This is something that a lot of runners who play inverted will tell you to make sure you know how to do, is play the arrow game.
I've seen that.
So unfortunately, it appears that pastrami not really familiar with the arrow game yet, and is going to skip dig game for now. We'll see when and if pastrami goes back for it. But we do have two clearable crystals here for pastrami in Village of Outcast area. We can go clear both Skull Woods and Thieves Town.
I always like to check the front of Skullwoods first.
Well, and the interesting thing here is I would actually say you do back to front in a Skull Woods in this situation. When you have be a crystal where you know you're going to actually kill them off, working back to front can sometimes allow you to skip the whole front of Skull Woods.
Good point there. This dungeon always stresses me out because of the hand that comes down to you. Alright, TJ's farming the rupees the way that Pasutorami did with the hula hand into this rock by desert. Alright, back to front.
Yeah, so we did get that middle check and then going into the back. This is definitely a very common routing choice. Meanwhile, TJ finishing up the rupee grind for Zora. I will say one of the surprising things with not doing that rupee grind a little bit more from both of the runners was if that was the lamp on Zora and this was an Agaseed, would you want to have that money already available to check out Pod?
Hmm. Is TJ walking up to Zora?
Yeah, taking a slightly different route. I understand the decision. You know, TJ had already done the fake flipper check, so this really is just a play to Zora. And this menu is not very convenient for getting around. But very nice hammer moth kill there.
He's gonna do the under the bridge chest. I think that's called. Nice. Oh, there's his master sword.
And it's just going to walk out of here now.
So is that one item out of Skullwood? So he's got one more to go?
Correct. Skull Woods is a 2-item dungeon. So we will get to at least see some of the front. We'll see how TJ approaches Dig Game. Maybe we will get a look at Dig Game. If TJ decides to grind out some rupees from the arrow game.
Oh, we forgot to rate the hype cave. I'd say it's like a 0.
Oh, yeah. When 20 bucks might actually be the best item we got out of it, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And there's our second item in
Okay.
the first chest on the left side of Skull Woods, just 5 bucks. We are done with Skull.
Alright, looks like he's gonna be doing the village of Outcast. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, no, this is a good play. We do have that cape, early cape. You know, it didn't give us the Aga play, so instead this could be its purpose, and it's blue mail, and Pasu's skipping it.
He's like, I don't need that.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of point this out. There's a lot of talk in chat about, you know, advantages and leads. One of the things I think a lot of people can kind of take from Rando is just how little it matters this early.
There's the male and C-shaped house.
You know, while TJ is a little behind just because of how that hammer kind of eluded for so long, choices throughout a race can just really turn things around instantaneously. You know, who makes a play here or there. TJ already went up the mountain and was able to check some of those locations and set up that save and quit point. That's very helpful at times. So there's little things that can kind of go any direction throughout a race.
Village of Outcast turning up pretty dry this time.
Yeah, and it was worthwhile to make those checks at least before heading into Thieves Town. If we can, you know, if you get boots out of any of those checks, that instantly makes Thieves Town a quick dungeon. And TJ was looking to pick up some of the small magics out of Skull Woods, but gets a full magic instead off the Gibdo and just picks that up instead.
Pasutorami's getting a blue goo ready. Getting kind of low on health there. Oh, there's the lamp in Thieves.
So no dark rooms for the rest of this race. Both runners will definitely be picking up that lamp. I can't see either of them missing it. And TJ is going to get that Master Sword before going to Moth.
Be a nice little addition there.
And I do like this change on Pasu's side, deciding to instead pull out the cape instead of that blue goo. Going to be a lot easier to just walk up the hellway here and at least, exhaust the magic before deciding to use the blue goo. And once again, TJ going with the Bombos medallion to clear out the Gibdos here.
Yeah, there's lots of Gibdos are in the magic pack. So you just got a full magic refill right off the bat.
Yeah, this will make his Moth fight a lot cleaner, or hopefully a lot cleaner. Moth is not exactly anybody's friend. And here we go, TJ dropping in on the Moth.
Just gotta keep him off the spikes.
And
Nice.
nicely done. TJ taking down the Moth for his first crystal. So we're now tied up on the crystal count. And big chest of Thieves Town, just the compass. So nothing besides that lamp. We really have not gotten much out of our play there.
No, but I mean, I believe there's a map in the first four, so I think there's an item.
Yes, you
belong.
are correct.
I always like reading what blind says. I like how you used the cape there.
Yeah, unfortunately getting a little bit off script, but does clear out another crystal. So there is crystal number 2 on Pasu's side.
All right, and a save and quit. He hasn't done the mountain yet, right? The lamp just put
No.
all that in logic for me.
Yeah, and it's only going to be those same checks that we got off of TJ's side. So as I said, this is one of those moments where it's kind of just, this is just catch up.
Mm-hmm.
So that
TJ's going for
advantage.
the. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
TJ's going for the armor. So he'll have red mail by the end because we know the other one's in Village of Outcast. Oh, bummer. Did TJ check lumberjack
Yeah, we
earlier?
did get a lumberjack check from TJ much earlier, so. So yeah, this is just more checks that TJ did earlier that Pasu's making now. So not these, this is time that TJ's kind of making up on the back end.
The old man. See what you got for us. Ah, that's where TJ got the magic pack. Missed that earlier.
Yeah, so we do. Here's the interesting thing is we still haven't seen Dig Game.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, both of our runners very much drained after the inevitable play to Zora for that hammer. And money is a huge issue here.
Looks like Spectacle Rock's not gonna have anything for us today.
So both of our runners did do Hype Cave, and I think we saw Stumpy from both of them. But unfortunately, neither runner had the money for Dig Game. And it seems both of them kind of just said no to playing Arrow Game to get the money. So we have not seen Dig Game at all yet. And hello, Raiders from Super Malmo World. Thank you. You are joining us tonight for a Link to the Past randomizer Mentor Tournament Gold Bracket semifinal race between Tjjoll and Pasutorami or Pastrami. I've heard both used frequently. This is game 3. Winner goes on to the finals to face who is it again?
Mr. Aaron Snurd.
Mr. Aaron Snurd. So we are nearing the end of the Gold Sword bracket. I know earlier today we did have finals game 1 of our Fighter Sword bracket. Unfortunately, I am not aware of the current progress of our Master and Tempered Sword brackets.
Nothing on Spike Cave, so we have a save and quit.
And is this an additional? Yeah, here we go. Back to that liftable rock by desert for more 50 rupee grind. I'm curious if this is going to be just dig. We do have dig game money. Is this pod money?
Yeah, they're kind of getting low on what they can check.
Oh, and I'm getting confirmation that all the other brackets are onto their finals now. So this is the last of the semifinals.
Nicely done. Alright, let's see, where is he gonna go? Oh, it looks like it might have been pod money.
Yeah, just playing the game one or doing that cave one time, it looks like. Or no, that was twice. Okay, so that is pod and dig game.
Into the dark road we go.
So to anybody watching this tonight, I will say, it only seems to come up as a inverted kind of thing. Like a lot of people will tell you if you're going to learn inverted to learn the arrow game. If you're going to play, just learn the arrow game. It will save you time in the long run. Unfortunately, you know, this is a skip that both of our runners have made. We'll see if we get to find out what was on the arrow game or the dig game from TJ soon, but it's becoming a last location on both sides.
Our pyramid just has arrows today.
And here we go. Pod is the play for pastrami here. I know a lot of people will tell you pod is always going to have something.
Except for when it doesn't.
Except for when it doesn't. I would have hoped to see our runners possibly cross off a few other checks first, but you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're kind of leaving a lot of really one-off checks in the far corners.
Right, we do have, you know, we've been harping on dig game, but we also do have access to Quakefish.
And with the powder, they can do the magic bat as well.
Correct. Thank you for calling that one. I definitely forgot that one's existence right now.
Oh, is TJ heading to the dig game?
Looks like it. TJ did get some money on the way, so this will be. Looks like we're gonna get that dig gameplay. Meanwhile, Pasu getting a small key out of the shooter room of Palace of Darkness. So as of yet, we are not bow locked. And dig game is not the answer. Just a piece of heart. But TJ is gonna keep on digging, hoping to get some 20s, knowing he wants money for pod.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like this play. This is really heads up. And there you go. It is a pod play clearly for TJ. Gets up over 120 rupees and says, "This is what I want." Meanwhile, Pasu getting a second small key off the bridge. So still not bow locked. Decent chance we're going to get at least one more small key to indicate that this is not a bow locked pod. First up, the vanilla big key chest is a small key. So yes, we are not bow locked in Palace of Darkness.
Oh, it's the flute.
Definitely a nice find, but unfortunately, nothing gained from that right now.
But then fast.
Other than fast movement and a reason to return to Kakariko to also check powder. And yeah, to everybody who earlier, you know, was talking about the difference of time, TJ is just really making up the time. You know, this play, the order of checks that TJ was able to make, not having to grind out money again. You know, this is just pure time save for TJ and is only about a minute behind heading into Palace of Darkness, where we know something has to be. Unless it's Quake or Powder. There's our fourth small key and
oh, there it is.
And that's very interesting progression. So that is a bow locked Titan's Mitts in Palace of Darkness. And unfortunately, Pasu getting bullied by the hard hat beetles in the arena here.
push you back so far.
So yes, Pasu using the camera unlock glitch to get that Titan's mitts. For all we know, there's going to be a bow in the back here. As I said, this is not bow locked here. We did get the required small keys to make the back in logic.
All the small keys.
And since we know how much the mitts lock, and that the flute did not give us progression, technically, I think there's a high likelihood bow is somewhere available right now.
It could have been. Oh, you mentioned catfish earlier. Catfish.
Yeah, that catfish and powder play. Those are the two, really. As we get Tempered Sword out of our harmless Hellway. But TJ is heading into the Bowlock side here in Pod. Looks like is going to set up for a similar potion unlock.
Oh, boots from the maze.
So our big prize, boots.
Say boots are always go fast.
And
Well,
I'm not
boots in the glove
sure.
or the mitts.
I'm not sure what Pastrami's play is here. Is this just running out of Pod to head all the way to Quakefish?
Looks like it.
Interesting.
Huh.
I'll disagree with this routing on it. Okay, so question from Pix in chat about are the boots 6 keys locked? So this is actually a very interesting thing. If you're familiar with key sanity modes, that would be the case. But this is so the way this works is we actually had access to 5 keys without the bow. The 6th key is on Bowlock side, but technically the dungeon where the 6th small key door is also bow locked, and the logic in open mode is able to take that item placement into consideration. So technically the the boots and the flute are not bow locked at this time.
I think you did point out we did have a boots locked item or a bow locked item.
Yes, the mitts are bow locked for sure.
That was the sequence.
And yes, if we did want to death warp out of Pod, the fire is a great choice. Also, those spikes. Trap damage is always 1 heart. So this really was just a play from Pasu to get all the way to Quakefish. And while this, maybe this is something, it's only $20. So unfortunately, very slow play to get all the way back here. And are we seeing a similar play from TJ now? I'm going to say interesting from both players. Okay, and there's the save and quit from TJ.
Looks like we're gonna hit it to bonk. Maybe? Yeah. A nice quick boot check.
Well, and Pasu also not going to King's Tomb here. Having those myths and kind of just rejecting it from his checks. I'm surprised, having those myths, maybe thinking, hey, I know I need bow, and that's one of the things that can't be there, but we're still short an Ice Rod and Samaria at minimum from Go, as well as Hookshot. Any of those could really be there still. Or technically the logical silvers.
We still don't know which medallions are going to unlock for what. Ice following the powder. Since you had the powder first.
Oh.
Oh, it's the mirror.
Now, this is actually really interesting because that puts King's Tomb in logic as well. So that's really like, even if you were avoiding King's Tomb from a logical perspective, it's now in logic.
Opened up all the things.
And here's a gamble from Pasu. Heading up Death Mountain. Definitely quite a bit to check up here. We do have a clearable Crystal Hera. I'm surprised we're not seeing the Mire area first. A lot of runners will tell you, especially some of our top tier runners. A lot of the mentors probably would also say Mire area first, just to get desert and a few extra item checks quickly without doing a mountain check. This is not a bad play at all, but definitely a bit risky.
Oh, there's that flippers on King's Tomb and TJ's side.
So definitely not an item we wanted to see. As I said, we were kind of hoping a non-flipper seed, but this could be important.
Could be.
You were saying earlier, Swamp Palace has a lot of items and is green pendant, so might be required.
Skip the basement.
So yeah, as chat's bringing up, technically the Mire area is out of logic. I think the important thing always to remember is I don't disagree that it's out of logic, but a lot of runners will also say to you, like, logic's kind of not the height of a concern. You kind of just go with what you can do. Especially with two bows in the field. It's definitely sometimes more worth it to just kind of go for it.
Looks like there's going to be an item.
Pasu's hoping for that second item on Moldorm here. Now, here's the kind of crappy thing for TJ, skipping Magic Bat and not getting the mirror before beginning Smith Chain.
Makes it take so much longer.
And there's that small key.
The item's in the basement.
And here's those gambles. So, how do you feel? Do you feel you're ahead? Do you feel behind? Do you feel your execution's enough to kind of give you an advantage against your opponent? These are really tough calls to make. And Pasu saying, you know what? I don't care. Let's just leave.
Oh, looks like he's going to check on the turtle.
I'm really hoping TJ remembers the bat here. And we do see that we need the Ether Medallion for Turtle Rock, so we are at least missing that medallion.
So far, I think it's just been money on the Smith chain. Oh, there's the hook shot. What is this, Super Bunny Cave?
Yeah.
TJ did remember the bet.
Unfortunately, I can't imagine TJ is going to feel good about this mirror. But with that hook shot and the mirror and the flippers that we now know about, hey, Swamp Palace, you're full clearable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the bow and hookshot cave.
And that is logical silvers, just so we're clear. Given that that bow was technically mitts locked, means that that is our logical silver arrows. And TJ is right behind, so while Pasu is the first to find all those items, TJ is going to have them momentarily as well, so this is still not over. TJ has definitely crossed off more things. Now, here's the hard part, you know. Logically, since we know hook shot and that bow and that ether medallion were all bow locked. Where is that first bow?
Could it maybe be the item on Sword and Pod?
No, that is also bow locked.
Yeah. I was say no wait, that was bow locked too. It'll be interesting to see if TJ decides to check the basement.
And yes, a lot of speculation from chat. Technically, front half of Swamp Palace, K45, and Graveyard Ledge are all possibilities for where that first bow is. But at this point, Pasu's just going, you know what? I don't care. Let's just go clear out 2 crystals. So we're going to get Pod Eastern back to back.
Always like the Pod Eastern play. It feels really like clean. Just take care of them both at the same time.
Yeah, nice combo here for sure, having that mirror.
Alright, are we gonna do the basement or no basement? I feel like the basement usually takes a while, so most of the time you skip it.
Yeah, but you know, this could be a turnaround moment. And TJ is heading back in. If this is Kane or Ice Rod, this could be huge. And we're getting some coffee break.
Alright, Almost done. Aw, bummer. I was kind of hoping for a big game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that is a lot of time investment from TJ. Interestingly enough, just looking at how the race has kind of played out up to this point, um, Pasu's really had kind of the better route. Things have definitely worked out better on his end. I would say on the opposite side of things, TJ's execution has been quite on point. I, I I would say that TJ's definitely had some better execution on some things so far. So really close. It's just a lot of this just shows you sometimes that choices do matter just that much.
Mm-hmm. All right. Eastern is cleared.
But I will say the big thing is this is far from over. Okay. We are missing two major items right. Cane of Samaria, of course, that is just massive. But the big one is we don't know where the ice rod is, and I don't know if a lot of you are familiar, but ice rod's a bad item.
It's the worst. The infamous ice rod hunt. It could be
Yeah,
anywhere.
and that's the thing is like you can never call a race until we have it.
Totally.
It is truly impossible to say that one runner definitely has the edge, the lead, whatever you want to call it, until somebody is in go mode. It is just near impossible to really call those kinds of things. In terms of the medallions, we do have the medallion we need to clear Turtle Rock. We do not know if we need to get into Mire. So if something is in Mire and it is Quake, we're still looking for a medallion. But at this point, with two medallions in our possession, not too bad. And yes, Pasu still not having picked up those flippers could become another major piece in the puzzle here. If Swamp Palace is part of the answer. And this is the unfortunate part. Like, TJ has cleared more. So in TJ's mind, you know, does these checks that Pasu's done and then might just go, you know what? Pendant Swamp is the answer. Whereas Pasu left Dig Game, left King's Tomb, left all of the Smith Chain, all these little pieces that he'll have to have in the back of his mind saying, what is the actual answer here?
Yeah, it all adds up.
Has Pasu forgotten about those locations, or are they all weighing there as just like little pieces?
Pod is done. That was just a compass. Missed an item somewhere in my counting.
So, but that is crystal number 4 for Pasu. So, or sorry, crystal number 5.
Now you just got Turtle Rock and Desert left.
And it looks like we're going to get desert next. Do you
Mm,
remember when we talked really early this seed? We never saw the desert ledge.
yep.
Do you think we're going to get to see it?
I don't know why you wouldn't check it. Oh, dude, what if that's the stinking bow?
Well, that would mean that we needed the book somewhere.
Oh, geez.
I know, right?
I don't know if that's possible.
We do have enough
Like the check.
spots that could have the book.
Gotta look at checkerboard. Oh, gross.
We have fetch quest.
Yes.
And yeah, as Super Rando Bros brings up in chat, all the sequence breaking, it's very easy to lose track, and that is definitely part of Rando. While what you'll hear from a lot of top level runners is logic is not the be all end all. It never is. It is something you want to have in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I doing something very out of logic?
Oh,
And
it was just a heart.
a lot of runners will say, you know, at least have it in the back of your head what you're missing to make everything in logic, because, you know, at a certain point, hey, is it worth it for me to do X, Y, or Z when I know it's locked by it?
Yeah. Our desert was not boots locked today.
Yeah, we're just a bow away from knowing what the logic was here, and realistically, Graveyard Ledge, K45, and the front of Swamp Palace all are valid options to have that first bow. So I guess the question then is, if we don't find progression here in Desert, where are you going?
Oh, there's the ice rod. No longer an ice rod hunt.
Darn, so that is one box checked. That's both boxes checked. At an hour and 10 minutes and 55 seconds, Pasu entered go mode.
Nicely done. Go mode in desert.
So hopefully TJ does make a similar play over to the desert area. I can't imagine he doesn't here. Definitely going to be behind though. So gonna have time to make up. I'm not sure, you know, if Pasu plays a clean game for the here on out, definitely has the advantage. This is pretty big. Is about to head into his 6th crystal, while TJ just finished up crystal number 4. So about a crystal and a half lead here for Pasu.
Well, now we officially know that flippers were not needed.
Well, and it just raises that question: where was the logical bow?
I bet it was in swamp.
You're going with swamp, okay? We will find out if that's the case. Through the magic of Ganon ESP, he knows where it is. And here's that restock from Pasu before heading up. Definitely, you know, one of those situations where it can be a little scary. No half magic, no silvers for sure. So
Doing Trinex without a half magic always sucks.
yeah, luckily has that tempered sword. I think there's like, if I'm on tempered sword, I don't care so much about half magic. If I'm on master, I prefer the half magic. And very nice Armos fight there from TJ for crystal number 5. And this is kind of what I was saying earlier. You know, TJ is executing probably a little cleaner than Pasu, but the extra checks that TJ is making along the way, which in the moment all seem like good plays, are just leading to little bits of time. So, Twin Mommy asking, what were the requirements to join this tournament? So, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer Mentor Tournament as run by the Go Mode podcast. The Mentor Tourney is for new runners. What happened is you sign up. They asked everybody who was interested to run a couple of seeds asynchronous and submit their times on them. And then they took that information and looked at the histories of the runners who applied and said, yes, we pretty much feel that you would be a good candidate for entry into this tourney. And for 6 weeks, our runners were able to get the help of more experienced runners and go through a 6-week Swiss. And all that time gave them, you know, an opportunity to learn from some very experienced people in the community. So afterwards, they ended up here in these brackets. This is our gold sword bracket, which were our top 16 finishers in the Swiss. So really, if you're a new runner, this tournament is in its 3rd iteration this year. And, you know, every year, definitely looking for an opportunity to get new people into the game. And if you're interested, definitely keep an eye out and, you know, keep tuned in to the Go Mode podcast.
Absolutely. It's been really fun to watch the mentor tournament kind of unfold. I think this was my husband actually plays this game. It was our first like tournament season.
Yeah, and one of the best things really about this, you know, is just a lot of these. So what you're going to see is, you know, this tournament is kind of coming down to a close. So this is the last of the semifinals. All 4 of the brackets are entering into the finals this week. And we're nearing really the next major tournament, quote unquote, in the Link to the Past randomizer community, as in only a week or so, signups for Link to the Past Randomizer League are coming up. And a lot of the runners that you'll see in these, you saw in the brackets throughout, are all getting ready to join that. So this has really been a great opportunity for them to just learn and then get more involved in the community and say, you know, I want to do this. And you'll find that a lot of great runners have come out of this, as TJ does enter Go Mode as well at about 1:16:55. Unfortunately, about 6 minutes behind Pasu right now.
Pretty much exactly 6 minutes.
Yeah. Smirk, you might be right. I am not entirely sure on the timeline, but yes, league registration is coming up very soon, and a lot of runners from the Go Mode or the Mentor Tourney are definitely looking to get into the league this year, and you know, just continue to grow. So definitely, you know, if you're looking to get involved, there's a lot of opportunities. Shav, you said, you know, this is your first comm tonight, and this is also an opportunity for, if you want to track, if you want to commentate, the Go Mode podcast will put you in with an experienced commentator to kind of learn the ropes. So this is just a time for everybody to learn.
A huge shout out to Radical Sniper helping me out today, carrying the brunt of the load. It's kind of great to like actually be commentating instead of spectating. It like definitely helps me pay attention and like catch the the little things here and there that, like when you're just watching, like I can miss. Oh, sweet. Great pickup up on Laser Bridge. Oh no.
Unfortunately, Pasu is just getting bullied by that hard hat beetle and the laser eyes. And whew. So this is kind of unfortunate for Pasu here. This is a very rare occasion. And this is, Pasu's getting a little flustered here. Skipped the big chest, and the big chest had a small key that was required.
Oh, is he going back for the big chest right now?
Yeah, he's gonna have to. Almost save and quitted, which would have been really bad, but then also almost mirrored, which would have sent Pasu back to the front of TR because had not taken the big door. So yeah, this is a huge I can't call it a mistake, it's a gamble.
Yeah. Well, he's giving TJ time to catch up. He is just opening Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and we'll be able to see kind of how much time loss this was. As we said, it was about 6 minutes difference in the go mode acquisition. So we'll see when Pasu finishes TR and where TJ is at that point. And after TJ finishes TR. And yep, there's that small key.
So did he realize he was missing a key once he got to Laser Bridge?
So if you have a go mode Turtle Rock, in other words, you get the big key usually in the front. A lot of people will say steal the pokey key and then skip the big chest. Generally speaking, you only need one extra key between Crystal Roller and Laser Bridge. And most, like 97% of the time, I think it's actually like 96%, I think it's a 4% play. There's a 4% chance that the last small key is actually in the big chest. And unfortunately, this was a 4% play where the small key was in the big chest.
Bummer.
Yep. But here we go. Pasu on to Trinex. Having that tempered sword makes quick work of the two heads, just down to the main head. Now, Pasu did have to unfortunately burn one of his blue potions already. But down goes Trinex for Pasu, so that is going to be crystal number 7.
Should we start our guessing game now?
Well, there are 22 locations in GT, and we will see. That crystal catch was at about 122.20, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think.
So yeah, 22 locations in GT. Let's see where that big key is. Where would you think it's going to be? You have a favorite location?
Usually, I kind of just guess. I'm guessing, but I usually shoot for 13 in the Rando room.
Rando room is definitely a favorite. Now, TJ is heading through to the big chest, so is not going to get hit by the 4% here. So this will be a time save for TJ. But There we go, into GT at 123.17. And TJ's going to completely be able to skip Laser Bridge. And that's 2 small keys in Hope Room, and Pasu's saying, you know what, no. We're going to go full left. If TJ pulls those 2 small keys and instead decides to go right side, this could, this is one of those things. We are getting into the territory where not only is the execution starting to make a difference, but GT routing.
Mm-hmm.
This really could just come down to a little bit of here or there, and this is not over. It really felt different when we said it was 6 minutes difference, but at this point, TJ's in shouting distance.
Yeah, he's definitely really. I always like the nail biting finishes when they're so.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big difference at this point. Huge time save already.
It's a very nice Trinix.
Yeah, pretty much about the same as Pasu's was, so no real time save here, it looks like. We'll see if maybe TJ... Oh, TJ. Oh, I think that's a slight time save still. We were about 6 minutes difference at the go mode, and we're down to about 3 minutes and 10 seconds difference at this point. So yeah. Huge change.
Oh, gold sword in Rando room. Ooh.
And we're down to, if it's behind Ice Armos, this could still work out for Pasu nicely. But if TJ goes full right and it is in Compass Room, this could pretty much put our runners tied.
Isn't there some sort of logic behind it?
So, yes, there is definitely logic behind the keys in GT, but realistically, it is pretty much an even, every chest or every location's about even odds. So, definitely hard to say. And here's definitely that execution difference, or comfort maybe. I think TJ probably feels a little bit more comfortable with things.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. TJ in, and here, this is it. This is the play. TJ getting 2 small keys in Hope Room and saying, no, I'm side. If this big key is on right side, this is a huge swing. So we're about to find out roughly at the same time if this big key is available. And it is not behind Ice Armos.
Oh my goodness!
TJ might get the big key first.
This is insane. I've lost track of counting chests now.
It's tile room.
Oh my god. No. Oh man, who's gonna check it first? No! TJ, go back.
So unfortunately, obviously, definitely the 22 location is the last one anybody goes after. Unless it is called the Living on a Prayer strat, and very rarely do you get to see it. And TJ, going with the normal convention saying no, and same for Pasu. So, but given it looks like we're going to see it at location 22, it looks like Joss and Cheetah are going to be our 2 members of chat who decided to guess 22.
Normally you'd say that's mean, but now they're right.
So, and yep. Pasu checking the menu again, going, wait a minute, I still don't have a big key. Realizing, yeah, it's in tile room.
One room. Nice cape strats.
Unfortunately, not getting rid of that bunny beam first. So as soon as, disables that, gonna get bunny beamed, unless does pull it while still wearing the cape.
Oh man, so crazy. There it is. In the towel room with a free lift out.
So Pasu first into the GT climb. So this is going to be a really close, definitely has the edge here by quite a bit, as TJ still has the rest of Ice Armos and the climb to go. We do have equivalent swords. Both of them are on gold sword. So really at this point, it is Pasu's race to lose. It has a big advantage on time. And yes, we still don't know where that first logical bow is. We're gonna get we're gonna know it at least with a precision of one location or of two areas, really. Ganon will either say it's in Light World or Swamp Palace. If it's Light World, then we know it's either Graveyard Ledge or Cave 45. If he says Swamp Palace, then we know it's in Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to mention, like, oh, we're gonna find out where the logical bow was. There's TJ heading back to the towel room.
And really, the story of this seed is just some of Pasu's route really has paid off in just a couple of skips here or there. Taking that mirror and going right up the mountain was a great opportunity. Meanwhile, TJ deciding to do a couple of Mitch checks, looking into Smith Chain. So little stuff here or there. Can't say it was wrong or right on either side. They also did Hera Basement. So
Yeah, definitely
just,
one of those. Yeah, one of those like little things here and there, adding up over time. See, about 5 minutes behind him.
I don't think it's that far. I think honestly, TJ's route in GT actually saves a little bit of time. So if it was like 3:10 difference on after TR, it's probably either way, it's still probably about maybe still about 3 minutes difference. I don't know. As I've said, TJ's execution has definitely been a little stronger throughout this race. So maybe there is some makeup, but I don't know if it's enough at this point. And Smirk actually telling me it was 2 minutes and 22 seconds. So yeah, TJ has made up time.
Nicely done.
Yeah, and It's definitely something that TJ can make up the time. I just don't know if it's too much time to make up.
Yeah, the
There's
carrot
definitely, like, we're talking about a whole climb behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, TJ's just getting into Gauntlet 2, and Pasu just finished off Moldorm 2. So this is a big difference for even TJ to make up at this point.
Soup du jour making the point that TJ got the fairies.
Yeah, and, you know, there's some safety.
Two, that was a double. Another double. Blue ball. One. There you go.
So Aga was down at 134.40.
I do like what TJ just did in that room with all the torches. When you fall at the top one, it takes you to the door. So much nicer than like walking up space.
And here we go, Pasu into phase 2 of Ganon. Activating that cape. I think Pasu still has a blue potion. So really, you know, just going to town here. Through phase 2, so huge advantage here. As I said, I don't know if this... I really think this is Pasu's race, just based on that timing. That's a huge difference, even with TJ really blazing through this gauntlet. And the climb. And there they are, Swamp Palace.
Nice.
Whew, really close there.
Yeah.
Pasu almost having run out of magic, almost not getting off the torch glitch. Able to pull it off, though. Oh my god. Okay. We have a race.
Oh my gosh.
So this is going to be really coming down to the drop-in.
Oh my goodness.
So really, let's time when Pasu drops in on Ganon. Here we go, dropping in 136.45. Still, this is still Pasu's race. Just has to get through Ganon. Unfortunately, does not have the magic to spare at this point for another use of the cape through phase 2. Gonna have to play it a little bit safe.
Nice hook shot. Oh man. He still has one more blue potion?
No, he used both of his blue potions, so
Oh man, dude, don't die.
what he's got left is it. So 136.45 was the drop in for Pasu. Here we go, 137.35. So about 50 seconds difference between our two runners here on Ganon. And yeah, unfortunately, TJ, for having such great execution throughout this race, really a rough Aga 2. So that might be the big difference here. This is just going to come down to Pasu getting through these spins.
Yeah, especially because TJ doesn't have silver. That would have really made up a lot of time in phase 4.
Well, and realistically, silvers in phase 4 is not a huge difference. Definitely helps having to avoid the spins. But by the time you get onto tempered and gold swords, it's not as big. If this was Master Sword still, it would be massive.
Gotcha. Nice.
But both of our runners on phase 4 right now. Just a question of being able to take down Ganon. And there we go. Pasu has killed Ganon, just has to cross that bridge and seal up this series.
That was a great race.
And there we go. Pasutorami, Pasu, however you want to say it, has finished crossing the bridge and defeating Ganon to finish this seed, and comes in first place with an official race time.gg time of 1:39:12. Get those GGs in chat for Pasu. Pasu is moving on to the finals of the Gold Sword bracket to face off with, what was that, Mr. Aaron Snurd? And meanwhile, Tjjoll is now crossing the bridge as well after having taken down Ganon, finishing not too far behind, only 28 seconds behind. Second place overall with a time of 1:39:40. Get those GGs in chat for TJ, as I believe we have now been joined by both of our runners. GGs.
GG's, guys.
GG's.
So, how about that race?
It's a nail biter.
I'm sure we have different opinions on it at the moment, but it was a good one, that's for sure.
So yeah,
I mean, all three of ours were pretty good. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
I guess initial thoughts, sequence breaking everything around a bow, both sides. Massive.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah,
I was thinking that when I found the bow, I'm like, that's bow lock because we got the mitts on the right side of pod. So that bow is somewhere else. That was my biggest worry, is that you had silvers.
I was worrying the same thing the whole way through. I was going, okay, is it sitting in K45 or somewhere that I'm never going back to at this point?
Yeah, K45, Graveyard Ledge, and Tile Room in Power of Hair were my big ones. I'm like, ooh. Oh, and Dig Game, because I didn't have rupees for it when I went there the first time.
I'm going to say something as the experienced mentor figure in this comm booth as a runner. If both of you are going to continue to race, and I can't see why both of you are not hoping to continue racing long into the future, learn arrow game.
Now that you just said that out loud, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it either.
I know it's more of an inverted strat, but both you guys should definitely put in a little bit of time, learn your arrow game. It'll pay off in inverted, of course, but even some of the rare situations like this one, just miles.
Because I went back to Light World to farm for rubies.
I grabbed them out of Thieves Town and then said, okay, I'm just going to keep digging till I get pod money.
I didn't have enough for Dig Game. That was my problem. I was like at 79 rupees. I was like, oh.
GG's, guys. That was great.
It was something. I'm just hoping it was good for everybody to call and watch. That's for sure. It's kind of
I'm
all
glad
over the
to see
place
a
at
tile
first.
Love a Tile Room seed.
I was actually going to gamble it when I went in, and then I was like, no, it won't be there. Guess I should have.
Oh, man. TJ, you went right first. Like you skipped Tower Room, but then you went full right. If you had done Tower Room, you would have made up all of the time, like right there.
I would have been close. I lost most of it at Agate too. I'm gonna have nightmares about that.
And honestly though, it was interesting in that Pasu was pretty much pulling the Ice Armos chest as you were pulling Compass Room. So we were finding out that it was Tile Room at the same time. I think generally from our perspective, it was a question of routing versus execution tonight.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, your execution, Agatu was standing. I know that definitely, I can hear your frustration there. You executed really strongly, probably a little bit of an advantage over Pasu tonight, but Pasu's route definitely worked out in terms of some of the skips, as well as the general gist of the route worked out a little better throughout. So, I have to ask Pasu, why skip King's Tomb?
I wouldn't say I skipped it, more like I forgot about it.
And then same with Hera Basement.
That was a gamble.
Okay.
I felt kind of behind. I was like, and I was like, there's 7 items coming up. There might be something really good in here. And I just happened to have the bow, which I was like, okay. Now my gears are turning. But it was enough to make me just keep going on with the seed and hope I found the rest of the stuff on the way.
I like it. Chat is asking Pasutorami for clarification on how you pronounce your name.
It's supposed to be pastrami, but I don't really care how people say it. I've heard people go like Pasutorami, which is kind of how it's actually spelled out. I literally just looked up how to say pastrami in Japanese, and that's how it came up as like the spelt out English way. I was like, yeah, that works for me.
Nice.
Yeah, so pastrami or Pasutorami is fine.
So, I know we are in a semifinal, of course. So, Pasu, you are moving on to gold, or to the gold bracket final. TJ, this is the end of the road for you and the mentor tourney. I guess, anything you want to kind of say is, as you're exiting the tournament at this point.
Well, I want to thank Trey Spire for mentoring me all the way through the Swiss rounds and putting up with my crazy shenanigans. Go Mode Podcast for putting this on. Everybody, volunteers, Restreamers, comms, trackers, just everything. It's a great experience. I've learned a lot. I think I've gained leaps and bounds. I didn't think I'd even get out of, fighter or master sword coming into this. So anything that's up to this point was just an absolute win. So, bonus there.
And can I just say, TJ, having watched you last year in your marathon race of League, yes, you have come a long way. To anybody who does not know, TJ raced Mystery in week 5 or 6 or whatever week it was of League last year. And what was it? All Dungeons Cross Keys?
All Dungeons Cross Keys, hard pool. Yeah, it was inverted too. It was inverted as well.
And I think you spent close to 8 hours on that seed.
Yeah,
and
it certainly was.
You spent all 8 hours and won that race.
That's incredible.
So big shout outs there, and definitely you've come a long way to where you are today.
Thank you very much.
Now for Pasu, of course, as we said, going on to the finals against one Mr. Aaron Snurd. How are you feeling going into the final?
Pretty nervous. Less about the race and more that I work like 60 hours this week, so I'm not gonna be able to practice like anything else before the next race. So that's a bit unfortunate. But I watched Couch and Snurds a couple of their races, and I was like, oh boy, that's gonna be fun if I end up winning.
Yeah, for anybody who missed the other side of this bracket, Aaron and Couch. Couch was the lone survivor of the Swiss, finishing Swiss undefeated. So definitely was one of the favorites going into this portion of the competition. So big takedown from Aaron there to reach this stage. So everybody in the gold bracket is definitely some of our top flight competitors here. But that is a huge win to have made it as well. So should be an amazing series.
Yeah, and then while we're at it, make sure everybody give everybody here a follow on Twitch. I enjoy watching everyone race.
Yeah, I also want to shout out our tracker tonight, Osbleeden, doing all the clicking behind the scenes, making our lives easy. Talking about links to the past is easy, clicking buttons is hard. try doing it sometime where you're having to track other people, especially multiple people at the same time. It's not really easy. That's why I don't do it. And also big shout outs to Shav joining me tonight on the comms. It was a lot of fun.
Great time. Thank you so much for like mentoring me in comms. Like that was great. This was an awesome race to commentate. I was like, it was like a nail biter. It was so great.
Yeah, and definitely make sure to follow the Go Mode podcast. As we are closing out or nearing the end of this third mentor tourney, they're doing this pretty much yearly at this point, and it is a great opportunity for new runners to kind of just enter the community, get a shot at it, really just try stuff out and, get used to it. If you want to comm, you can comm. If you want to track. If you want to run, run. And there are plenty of mentors who are willing and wanting to just grow this community. Definitely a great place to just be with everybody. So, come out and continue to enjoy Link to the Past. But I believe that is going to close out things for us tonight. Anything else from you, Shav?
No, thank you again so much. I had such a great time. Thank you so much to our runners and all of the other crew behind the scenes making this possible, picking up the last semi-final race, and I look forward to seeing everyone in the finals.
So from everybody here at the Go Mode podcast, have a great night and see you at the next race.
Thanks for the restream. GG's again, TJ.